Today I'm with an exceptional young man called Pierre Frolla, who apparently grew up with fins on his feet in Monaco. He is a 4 times world record holder of free immersion, and in 2007 he decided to stop competing and dedicate his life to protecting our oceans. And he also started his own school, École Bleu, in 2002, and he teaches people his passion. But Pierre is a multitask person. I bumped into him at so many events in Monaco. He's also been in loads of TV series and made movies, and he belongs to so many charities. The main one is Princess Charlene's foundation. He's an ambassador, and he he's passionate about teaching children how to swim, and he's also a member of Peace and Sport. And this is only 54 elite athletes who are dedicated to make a change in the world through peace. And this is, although it's international, it's based in Monaco as well. And he does so many other exceptional things. He's got a massive heart. So welcome, Pierre. Thank you so much for joining us on Wellness Spring today. How are you?
Welcome. Thank you very much for the invitation. In fact, you said something wrong. You said I'm young, and I am 46 years old. So I think it's finished for me. I'm not still so young.
Oh, I don't agree. Age is only a number, and you've only just celebrated your birthday on Valentine's Day.
Exactly 2 days ago, yeah.
Exactly. And can you tell the audience a bit about your life, your background, your history, and what led you to be this incredible extreme athlete that you are today?
Well, in fact, it's very interesting, but very easy to explain that. I'm born the 14th of February 1975 in Monaco. My father was a champion of freediving in spearfishing in the 60s. Oh. From the 60s to the 70s. In 72, he stopped his career. It was not a career, it was a passion. It was an athlete like that. And we grown up with my brother in this family full of love of the ocean, love of the fish, love of the passion of the spearfishing and the freediving. In fact, the freediving was not existing exactly like I am doing it since I'm young. But we were focusing with my brother with spearfishing and freediving. We wanted to find a treasure because we were thinking that our father was hiding a treasure under the water, because he was always saying to us, don't jump in the water, don't swim alone, don't go under the water, don't dive. And everybody, the friend of our father, were explaining the magical of his life, all the trips he did, all the big fish he caught, all the many adventures and encounters he had in his past. So we were very interested with my brother, like, if this adult doesn't want us to dive under the water in the ocean, it is because he has hidden a treasure under the water. So we started at 5, 6, 7 years old to jump in the water to find the treasure. We didn't find the treasure. We found our passion. We understood that the treasure was living his passion every day. In fact, he was afraid for us because it is dangerous to leave the children in the ocean alone. It is dangerous for the children to go down very deep. And we wanted to be our father, to do exactly the same than him, because all these histories and the stories were surprising, especially because our father stopped diving in 74. So we never seen him under the water, except in 1989, I remember, after the Big Blue, the movie, because his friend gives him a brand new wetsuit and new fins, and he started again to jump in the water. But from the 75 years, or from the year 75 to the 89, we didn't saw him diving. So that's why my interest for the ocean grown up day by day.
Yeah.
After that, I understood that in the world of the adult world, all the adults have to go to job, to work, and they were not very happy to do it. I saw so many adults waking up in the morning and saying, oh, I have to go to job, to work, I have to go to the office, and they were so sad to do it. And I was very afraid about that, because I said, I have to go every day at the school. I don't like that. I have to go to the college after the university. I don't like that. And in fact, during all my life, I will be sad to do some things. But I met adults very happy to have their life because they were living their passion. So I understood that if I understood what was my passion, and if I live my passion every day, I would certainly be very happy. I understood that my passion was the ocean, living in the sea, in the ocean, meeting all the big animals, big mammals. So I decided to become an instructor in diving, in free diving, and I started to train very hard for that. And I became an instructor in free diving and diving, and I became a French champion 1, 2, 3, 4 times. After 2 times European champion, and at the end 4 times world champion. And now I have built my own school. In fact, I have 3 schools, one of diving, one of free diving, and one of water safety, specially dedicated for the young guns from 8 years old until 80 years old. And we are working with all my team since 2002 in this way.
Wow. Is your brother older or younger than you?
My brother is born in 77. He's 2 years younger than me.
Yeah, because I know you've often said that he used to inspire you and motivate you to go that step further. So who or what inspired you most in life with your diving?
In fact, at first it was my father who inspired me a lot. This was the way I wanted to follow. But I saw on TV the Commandant Cousteau when I was young. I understood his life, his way of thinking, his way of taking care of the ocean, and especially Commandant Cousteau was able to say, I apologize, because when I started diving, I did many things I didn't knew that it was bad. For example, putting dynamite on coral reefs, catching many sharks and everything. They were adventurers. But year after years, they understood that the environment where they were living every day, the sea, the ocean, was really, really, really fragile. And they decided at first to change the things, to change the way of looking at the sea. And they were able, and especially Commandant Cousteau, to say, I apologize, I'm sorry, I did bad things, and now I will try to do better things. So it was for me something very important in life. When we grow up year after year, we try things. We choose a way, and when we are young, we are sure that this is the good way. And when an adult or a old person, a holder, explain to us, you should not do that, it would be better for you to do this way, you will certainly say, I'm sure I am on the good way, and I want to follow my way to find the solution by myself. And if I fail, it's a way of having more experiences. In fact, I decided to build my own school, specially dedicated for children, because for me, it's very important to give them apologize about what our generation and the older generation did wrong. We did many bad things. So at first, we have to apologize to the new generation. And secondly, we can't say to them, now you have to do that or that. It's impossible to do that. We have to give them many tools. We have to give and explain them how to use these tools. They have to understand how to focus on a goal to reach. And with all this mode of explanation, we will give them the power to build a sustainable present and future for them, a sustainable mode of being better than the world we are leaving to them, the bad world. And especially with these tools and this new mode of doing, to be able for them to build their own masterpiece.
Fantastic, because I think most children, if you tell them not to do something, they want to do it. But I think it's incredible that you and your brother learned at a very young age what your passion was about, because some people are like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and some people die and still don't know what their passion is. So with you, how did you, because obviously with your father and the diving, did you learn yourself how to hold your breath on land, or did you hold it underwater and time how long you could hold it for?
Both. When I started to free dive, I was learning the thing by myself with my friends. We didn't have internet in the past, so we opened some books, some TV shows, but it was not very known. And in fact, in 1994, I met Claude Chapuis in France, in south of France, with a big band of brothers like Loïc Leferme, Olivier Le, Jean-Marc Dominique, Mathilde Fouchard, Marc Ounil, many good friends. They became very good friends, but at first they were proposing to people who wanted to try freediving. They were proposing the first workshop of the world. It wasn't existing in the past. It was the first team in the world. So I became member of this team in 1994. We started training together. We started at first to do the workshops, and after organizing the workshops together. And in 1996, we organized with this team the first World Championship of freediving. It was the first of the world. In the past, all the freedivers were competing in records alone. They were planning a dive, explaining to the media and the world that they were trying to reach the tag at the bottom, and that's it. But there was never had before a big meeting with 200 athletes in the same time, in the same way, to try to compete together. So we organized it at first, and in the same time we were organizing, planning, writing all the rules of being a freediver in the world, being a freediver in the sea, making all the pedagogic rules and all that things. And we learned by ourselves how to hold our breath, how to go down, how to link ourselves to a rope with a lanyard, to start to understand the different way of compensation, equilibration about the ears, the sinuses, the lungs, and all that things. And year after years, we grown up all together in this way. In fact, we can say that we invented the free diving lessons, workshop, competitions, and a way of doing free diving, because before 1994, it was in fact not existing for real, only for Jacques Mayol, Umberto Pellizzari, Raimondo Bucher, and Enzo Maiorca. Only 4 people in the world, perhaps Franck Messeguet and 2 or 3 American people, but they were just trying things like that by their own. It was not a big band of brothers of the world doing all the things together. It was not a community at first.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. I didn't realize the background of that. And I know when I listened to your talk with TED Talks in...
Just look at that. This is the first freediving team of the world.
Wow.
Chapuis, Olivier Le, Yoram Zekri, Loïc Leferne, and myself. In 1996, it was the first French team, but it was the first team who organized all that events, workshops, and all that things. So we are a bit proud of that, but what's more important than that is that we were able to follow the good way to reach our goal and make this possible to happen for all the others. So I'm very happy for that.
And so you should be. That's an amazing and incredible achievement, which will inspire young children and adults all around the world to follow their passion and to do something. So what tips would you give to people who want to start out to be a free diver or to be an athlete, for example?
To be an athlete, you have to take your time. At first, when you want to dive, when you want to go in the water, in a swimming pool or in the sea, never free dive or never dive alone. Always dive with a buddy. It's so important because when you are under the water, somebody is looking after you to make the security, the surety, the safety. When you come back to the surface, at that time, you become the safety freediver and the other guy can dive in his time. So it's very important not to be alone and to be close together. It's not like we go in the water together, but I am at 100 meters to you. No, we have to be close and one on the surface, one on the bottom. Never 2 freediver at the bottom in the same time. This is the first time. The first thing. The second is take the time to learn yourself. Take the time, be passionate. It's very important to follow some values when you want to become an athlete. Courage, honor, fraternity, humility, shareness. And it's so important to follow these values, to follow the values of the high-level sports to become an athlete. It's very important because this is outdoor activity, and the outdoors activities are brilliant, beautiful, but they are and can be very dangerous. So we have to take the time. Don't think to become a champion. Just think to become a free diver, a waterman. Drink the sea, become the sea in the sea. Go and meet all the beauty of the ocean. Swim with whales, swim with dolphins, swim with sharks, catch some fish, share it, cook it with your friends, your family, your girlfriend, your husband, your children. Take the time to have a big nap on the sea, in front of the sea on the beach. Take the time to feel the sea in your skin, in your bones, in yourself. Become the sea in the sea. At that moment, you will be able to start to train, to become more than a waterman and perhaps an athlete. But at first, the most important is to feel the water, the ocean, the values, the respect we have and we need to have to be accepted in the water, because we can't fight the water. The water is 800 times more powerful than us. So we have to be humble in the water, very, very humble in the water.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I've done a lot of sailing, and I say to people, you have to have so much respect for the elements, because you never know how the weather can change in an instant. And I know you've talked about your fear of sharks, but I would like to know, have you ever been fearful of the dark? Because you go down so deep, and I've heard you talk about how dark it becomes. And I also want to know, have you had a fear of choking or drowning underwater, not having been able to hold your breath and come up?
In fact, when I was young, I was totally afraid, like many youngs, I think, about the darkness. I understood that when you close your eyes, everything is dark. So if you're afraid of the darkness, close your eyes, and that's done at first. So I started to walk on the way, closing my eyes to be able to accept the darkness. It was my first step to fight my fear, because I started very young to be ashamed, to be afraid. For me, it was very special. I don't want to be fed by the fear. I don't want to be afraid. I want to be proud. I wanted to be proud. So I didn't want to accept to have fear, to be afraid. It was my first big fight to accept to be like everybody and to have fear. It was the first thing. Secondly, I was totally afraid because of Jaws, the movie about the sharks. And I didn't realize that it was a big paradox to want to be the best freediver of the world, because the best freediver of the world have to go down alone in the darkness of the ocean. And I was totally afraid to meet a shark I'd never seen before. So it was a fight every day when I was young, training but with the fear in the stomach, having the fear to meet a shark I've never seen before. So it was a big fight. So I had to make a choice. Giving up, I had to give up, or to fight and to catch the shark by its teeth, not the bull by his horn, but the shark by his teeth. So I decided to catch the shark by his teeth. So I took a plane, I went in Indian Ocean, and I wanted to meet the shark I've never seen before, to see if it's really dangerous and something like that. So I landed, I took a car, went to the beach with a holder, explaining me, because I did not have my driving license, explaining me what is a shark, or how do we have to react in front of the shark. I put it in my wetsuit, my mask, my snorkel, my fins. I jump in the water, and after perhaps 10 minutes, I seen my first shark, a big, yellow, full of teeth lemon sharks. Wow. And do you know what happened at this moment? When the shark seen me, he ran away. He was totally afraid of me. In fact, I was the shark for the shark. He was afraid of me. And I understood that we are only afraid about the thing we don't know, the unknown. We are afraid about the unknown. When we know the things, we are able to catch them, to learn to them, and to understand the things. So, in fact, the best fight in life for people is to make the unknown known. This is the only thing I have really understood in my life.
Wow.
This is the love for the chocolate. But if you make known the unknown, you will grow up as impossible as you can be.
You are unstoppable, I know that. And it's great that you've, you know, that's wonderful words of advice to young people to face your fears and to make known the unknown. Because at the moment, as you know, everybody's fearful about COVID and what's going to happen. So I don't know how it's affected your business there in Monaco. But again, it all goes down to the breathing as well. You know, I think if everybody can master how to breathe properly, they will let go of a lot of their fears as well. What's your point of view?
My point of view is the only thing we are sure is life. We don't know what's happened after when we are dying, about paradise, hell, all that things. We know the things we feel, the people with we share the things, the discussion we can have, the love we can share with people and all that things. So to be able to walk, we need to put step after one and like that. So we have a new challenge on Earth. This is COVID. It's since only 1 year that things have changed. What is 1 year in humanity, in our life? It's nothing. It can change many things in the business. That's a good thing. Like that, we have to plan new things, to think about new mode of doing. We can't give courses since 1 year. It's affecting a lot our business in diving, but we have find solutions to make other plan to give a different sort of mode of doing the lessons, like e-learning, one by one, Zoom and views, connections like that, interviews. So we have to take the time with our friends, with the family. We have less meeting, so we have more time. We can make, we can dream more than in the past. We can read more than in the past. We have plenty of time to live. What's more important to work every day or to live every day? I think the answer is in the question.
Oh, absolutely. And it's wonderful to hear these words coming from you, because family is important, me time is important, because most people are busy 24/7 hours a day. You know, they don't stop and relax and look within. And I know with you, when you go dive deeply, you have to look within and find out what really makes you tick and who is the real me. So I think this has been a big opportunity for people to connect inside and also connect, you know, with their family and friends once more, but find out who they are and what they really want to be doing with their lives instead of pleasing other people. So I know, Pierre, you have to fly because you are so super busy helping everyone. So if there was one thing you could do to change the world, what would it be?
If I could do something to change the world, I can't change the world. You know, something happened with me 2 weeks ago, and I was really surprised to see that we were in Caribbean with my family, and we were walking with many friends, and one of our friends had a baby, a real baby, huh? And in fact, this baby was very, very young, and it was starting raining very, very hard. I was not in the group at that moment. I was talking with my friends, so we were separated. And the first group, with the girls and the baby, were running to a restaurant to find a place to be protected, because it was not only the rain, it was a big storm. And I was hidden under a tree with my friends waiting for the end of the storm. And they wanted to go in the restaurant, and the people were in the restaurant said, sorry, we are closed. And they were on the rain with the winds, with a baby, a small real baby, something like 6 or 7 years old, 6 or 7 months. Yeah. And they didn't want to open the door for them. And they led them under the storm. It was crazy for me. I knew that after when I came back to the autumn. And I was very surprised about that. How can it be in our worlds? How can't we help people for something like that? It's so surprising. So what can we change? We could change everything. We just could talk to people to try to be more human, with more respectable with the nature. We could just, I can't imagine that in 2021 we are still trying to catch animals in the nature to put them in a zoo or in a SeaWorld or marine and something like that. It's crazy. So I think I don't know what I could do. I just know what I would say. Please, more human.
Yeah. Well, I think you covered a lot just in that small story, saying
perhaps be less human.
Yes, be kind and compassionate and caring and respectful. And this is the way we can all move together to a kind, caring, peaceful world, so the children of the future can learn to live as one and respect Mother Earth and Mother Nature and humanity. And Pierre, you've been doing this for years. This is something you've taught since you were very young. And I know you are the shining light in Monaco, respecting, you know, you see the big picture for the children, the future of the world. And I know you've already made a huge impact, not only on the people in Monaco, everybody in the world and everybody who listens to your talk. So on that note, I want to say, keep shining, keep smiling, keep doing your good work. And I feel very honored and blessed to spend this quality time with you. Thank you so much.
I am very honored to have been invited by you. Thank you so much.